All right, welcome back to the After the Siren podcast. I'm
That was
Albert
a good
Little.
siren.
I'm here with Joe Royston, like always, and match week 3. That was insane. Bunch of good close
Very
matches.
insane.
But how's your day been?
Well, it's really early, so not
Yeah,
much has happened.
This is the earliest we started.
Yeah. So, preparing for this, later today, I got to go to the school because they're interviewing some coaches and they want me there for it. So,
Nice.
How about you?
Nothing much, Just got to keep doing my physical therapy exercises.
Do you have PT today?
No, I had it yesterday.
How's that?
Pretty good.
Some new exercises?
Huh?
Did you get any new exercises?
Oh, yeah, a couple. But, got my knee to go to 87 degrees.
Yeah, boy.
Once I get to 105, I get a stationary bike. So I get to jump on it. So here we go.
They get practice for your Tour de France.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll talk about Tour de France in the summer.
I don't think so, but maybe.
All right, let's get right into match week 3. Starting off, Western Bulldogs 71, Sydney Swans 60. Bulldogs finally got a win on the board. They controlled the whole match. Their kicking in accuracy is still a problem, though. That almost cost them the game. They had 17 behinds. They won by 17 points. No, they won by 11 points.
Yeah, 1 by 11.
But still, that is not what you want to see if you're a Bulldogs fan. But Bailey Date with an underrated game. He had 27 disposals and 734 meters gained.
Yeah, I think the Bulldogs, they're finally due for a win. They still have, I think they have a really good squad, but they're able to avoid the horrid 0-3 start. But very inaccurate affair between both squads, both Bulldogs and the Swans. I think we finally get to see kind of the real Swans this past week, because before their scoring conversion rate was a lot higher than their average and the competition's average. They're scoring 51% of the time on their entries. And against the Dogs, they only finished at 31% efficiency. And they're at 20% efficiency going into the half.
Yeah.
For the Bulldogs, Tim English, he finally stepped up to the plate. Going to the baseball reference right there. Like many fans were hoping for. He had finished with 24 disposals, 8 clearances. He was involved in 12 of their scores. And then as far as the Swans, this is the lowest scoring halftime since 1997.
Yeah.
So very inaccurate affair. That was definitely the story of the match, is the inaccuracies between both squads.
Yeah, it seemed like it was two very good teams that are both struggling right now. Because last year and previous years, they've been really solid. Last year, Western Bulldogs went crazy during the finals. Just missed the grand final by a little bit. Maybe they were in the grand final. I forgot. But
but
Sydney Swans, they should be doing a lot better than they are right now. But they're struggling.
Yeah, they only finished half with 1 goal, 3 behinds. But next week they face North Melbourne, so they'll be able to find out their offensive form again. I think next week.
It's a good warm-up game,
Yeah.
Next we got Melbourne versus Essendon. Melbourne scored 99, Essendon was 70. Melbourne's taking care of business, continues their hot start to start their title defense here. Essendon's 0-3 for the first time since 1967. And since 2010, only 3 teams made the finals after an 0-3 start. I'm not too hot on Essendon right now. They look like they're struggling a bit. They've had some tough matches, granted, but they need to turn the ship around fast.
Yeah, I agree. There's only a couple bright spots for Essendon, I say right now. One, congratulations to Tex Wanganeen. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. His first career goal as a Bomber in the third quarter. Or he started the comeback in the third quarter for the Bombers. I believe he scored in the second for that goal. And then they have another guy, Andrew McGarth. He anchored down that midfield for them. Melbourne, they have some stars in that midfield for them. Christian Petraka, Clayton Oliver,
Yeah.
And I mean, he really held down Christian Petracca for almost the whole entire game. But he can't control both him and Clayton Oliver. So Clayton Oliver dominated 38 possessions and probably getting 3 votes towards the Brownlow. But yeah,
Angus
as far as,
Brayshaw. Angus
yeah,
Brayshaw had a great game. 20 marks, only 18th player in history with 20 marks in a single game. Had 34 disposals and 518 meters gained. Essendon put a good performance in, but Melbourne just has that star power that they're lacking right now.
Yeah, I mean, Melbourne now 10 straight games they've
Yeah.
won since the round 19 of last year. And, you know, Sam Weedman, I mean, hasn't played since round 13 of last year. He came in to replace Ben Brown, who's in isolation right now, and he replaced him well. He took over 4 goals, 3 behinds. And I mean, he missed some easy shots in the first half, so it could have been even more for him. But well played by Melbourne, looking really strong.
All right, let's go down to the Showdown in Adelaide. Adelaide Crows with a 30-point comeback with a goal after the siren, 96-92 over local rivals Port Adelaide. I mean, Port controlled the whole game the whole time until the fourth quarter when they completely collapsed. They're 0-3. Is it time to worry if you're a Port Adelaide fan?
I don't think so. I think out of the 3 teams that are 0-3, they're probably the strongest, and then probably Essendon, and then the West Coast Eagles. But they just dealt with a lot of injuries, COVID-19 stuff. I mean, they put up a good fight against Adelaide. I remember I was texting you because over in the US, it's really in the morning. I was like, bro, you got to check out this match. I was listening to it.
I was listening to it too. It was insane.
It was insane those last 6 minutes. And then, yeah, Adelaide's prize recruit, Jordan Dawson, and his very first showdown, he's the one that goes up there for the kick. Only 24. What do you think goes into his head right before he kicks it? Because, I mean, when he was kicking it, it looked like it was going to miss right and then curve back in.
It was outside 50 too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's outside 50. He's stepping up. Last kick of the game. I mean, he's probably thinking just try to hit it as straight as you can. Or if you're going to start it off, you know, sometimes when you kick the ball, sometimes people just have a natural curve. So just start off a bit to the right. But what he's probably thinking after he kicked it, he's probably thinking start going out. They're going to lose the game. Then all of a sudden just starts coming back hard. It just starts coming back hard. It's probably a jubilation, if that's the right word.
I mean, that's a career moment for him. I mean, talk about a way to like win over the fans, you know?
Yeah. Let's talk about this first. So before that, with like a minute to go, Port had a mark and they were going to take the free kick.
And
he missed it. If he would have scored that instead of it being 92-90 going into that after the siren kick, it would have been.
It changes the game because it does, because then for Port, Sam Mays, he probably doesn't foul Lachlan Murphy because he can sit back and not be as aggressive. So, I mean, that miss completely changed the game. And how about the young guys stepping up for Adelaide? I mean, Elliot Himmelberg and Lachlan Gallant, their third AFL game, both kicked 4 goals. And Himmelberg, 2 of them came within the last 5 minutes. I mean, that's big for them.
Yeah, Adelaide had a rough couple first weeks there. Tough loss to Fremantle at the end of the game. Got destroyed last week. Or not last week, the week before last week. But Jordan Dawson had a big game. He was a big part of that comeback. He had 2 goals, 1 behind, 24 disposals, 664 meters gained. It's just big performance from him.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We got Greater Western Sydney Giants had 83 as they beat the Gold Coast Suns 57. Big win for the Giants to avoid going 0-3. They controlled the whole game and they just looked comfortable the whole time. And the midfield looked very strong compared to previous weeks.
I was about to say that, yeah.
They were getting ragged out for how bad they were playing, especially last week. But Tim Tarrant, he was everywhere. 36 disposals, 655 meters gained, 8 tackles, 15 handballs, 21 kicks, he led pretty much every category when it comes to players during that specific game.
Yeah, Giants, first win of the season. Great homecoming because, they're forced to play away from Sydney during COVID-19, total of 287 days. But like you said, that midfield was dominant. And the main reason they won was they did a great job stifling the attack from the Suns.
Yeah.
They're able to hold the Suns' prolific on-baller and co-captain Toke Miller. Only 17 possessions. That's the first time he's been under 29 in the past 19 matches. And they allowed only Matt Royal to have very little influence over the match. Whereas for the Giants, maybe we see some players break into form, especially, Stephen Coneglio, as he collected 21 disposals in the first half alone, 32 touches and 10 clearances in a great display. The injury-prone labeled Brandon Pruce made his debut for the squad. Immediate impact, 34 hitouts, 16 possessions, 7 clearances. And he got the better of Suns captain Jared Witz. And with having Brandon Priest into the lineup, he's a bigger guy. This allowed Tom Green to stay away from the rucking and focus on just getting that ball, winning the ball more. He finished with 20 disposals, 6 clearances, 2 goals, 2 behinds. So, it was an important part of their victory, having him back in the lineup.
Yeah. Moving on, we have Collingwood versus Geelong. Collingwood.
What a game.
They're under.
Again.
Yeah, another great game. I think this game was overlooked because of the showdown in Adelaide, but Collingwood had 91. Geelong had 104. Geelong came back after being 30 points down. Collingwood's been a pleasant surprise this year. Their offense has been formidable. They've scored at least 90. I think this is the least amount of points they scored all season long. I'm pretty sure. I have to go back and look at that, but
yeah,
I think this is warning shots to the league, despite the loss, because Geelong's a pretty good team and they dropped 91 on them, had 30-point lead, even though they blew it. But
Collingwood should have won the game. They should have.
Yeah, they should have. But look at
Geelong,
Jeremy Cameron, though. 6 goals, 1 behind. Big part of that comeback.
I was about to say that, yeah. They outscored Collingwood 44-1 in that last quarter. That's a nearly impossible comeback in my eyes.
Yeah.
Like you said, Jeremy Cameron's so dominant. 3 of his goals up front. But it was kind of fitting for Geelong. We got to figure out how to say this, man.
I think Geelong.
Geelong. Okay, that's what I kind of think.
Hey, to our listeners, we're learning.
Yeah.
Maybe someone takes us to Australia, so we learn.
AFL, if you're listening, man. Fitting for the Geelong's captain, Joel Seawood, as he overtakes Carlton legend, Stephen Kernahan as the longest serving captain in league history. Collingwood looked like one of the best team. They looked like the best team, in the league those first 3 quarters. They were dominant. They put 9 goals, 1 behind on exit efficiency. And that goal or that attack was headed by Taylor Adams and his 30 disposals. But yeah, and no surprise, wait, I have this as the wrong thing. Never mind. That's all I have for this match.
I think Collingwood's going to be a force to reckon with throughout the season. I think they're going to get into the finals just based off how they played.
Definitely. Oh.
I think so.
Are you calling it the finals?
Finals are the playoffs, man.
Definitely the playoffs.
Yeah, finals are the playoffs. That's what it is. The grand final is the championship game. You gotta learn this, man. You gotta keep up. Keep up.
How you gonna call the finals the playoffs?
It's Australia.
No sense.
We're learning. AFL, if you're listening, we'll tag you in this. We'll tag you in pretty much everything. Every video we post, wherever we post it, except YouTube because they can't figure that out. All right. All right. For our listener, all right. I forgot your name, but Brisbane had 156 over North Melbourne, who had 48. Brisbane just dominated the match. Not much to talk about. 23 goals, 18 behinds. If they could have been more accurate, they could have broken 200 points.
It could have been ugly. Last week, North Melbourne's game, I was talking about how it should be canceled over COVID-19 concerns. This game, Albert, should have been canceled to save North Melbourne from that embarrassment handed to them from Brisbane.
Brisbane.
Brisbane,
My
whatever.
dad's a North Melbourne fan. He's pretty embarrassed by the performance.
Yeah. I mean, 11 people for Brisbane scored. Lincoln McCarthy, great performance, 5 goals, 1 behind. If there's anything to talk about for North Melbourne, probably Jai Simpkin led the match with 31 disposals.
I have that written down. He had 16 kicks, 15 handballs, 6 marks, and 4 tackles. He was a lone bright spot.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah.
Is Brisbane the best 3-0 team? The 3 teams they faced are all 0-3. Port, Essendon, and North Melbourne. But they've seemed to dominate all of them.
Until we see them face a top team, I don't think we can say they're the best squad. They got to improve accuracy still.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was 18 behinds total.
Yes. 18.
That's pretty awful. Yeah. 7 came in the third. They only put up 3 goals in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Especially Joe Danaher in the midfield. They have him to push the ball forward. So I mean, the attack is deadly with him there. But accuracy needs to be improved before I say they're the best team in this league.
Yeah, it's a league.
Yeah, I don't know why.
They play Geelong next week or this week.
Yeah, so I'll definitely be watching that match.
Carlton versus Hawthorn, another thriller. 1 point separated them. Carlton taking the win 74-73. It's pretty much an even match. Carlton jumped out to a big lead early, and then Hawthorn started working their way back. Just it fell up short. Zach Williams had a big game, 623 meters gained, 27 disposals, 20 kicks. I mean, for the scores very close, but other than that, it just seemed like a very even match where nobody really stood above the rest.
Yeah, this match it was going down to whoever's midfield game was more dominant. I mean,
yeah.
I remember I woke up and I checked the score and I thought Carlton was going to dominate. It was 43-9 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah.
So I went back to bed. I wake back up and it's like 74-73. I couldn't believe it. And I didn't think I had any reason to worry. I mean, for Carlton, this was their highest scoring like opening term since 2014. So it's like, they're just going to continue this, man. But yeah, Hawthorn completely dominated that second half. For Carlton, you know, first half, George Hewitt, Patrick Cripps, Sam Walsh, they dominated. It scored in the stats board and the scoreboard for that first half. But in order to turn that tide for Hawthorn, Tom Mitchell, James Warple, and Josh Ward, I have them all highlighted. Absolutely battled the blue midfield. And that's the reason why I'd say they got so close and almost won this match.
It was really a tale of 2 halves.
For sure.
But Carlton 3-0 for the first time in a while. Probably 10 or plus years, because they were 10 years ago they were 2-0 and they were 2-0 this year to start. Is Carlton back? Are they back to their dominant form of history?
This is definitely, you know, from the past couple of years, you know, they struggled a little bit. There's definitely a new squad, you know, new coaching who they've really put some chemistry together with the whole team. I like them. I remember week 1, I said, I really like this Carlton team. And, you know, they're holding strong because Hawthorn, I wasn't so high on them at the beginning of the year. They're kind of turning my thought on them around because the young players for them are just turning up.
Yeah.
But Carlton, I mean, it's not crazy to say, you know, they could also be in the grand final.
Finals.
Grand finals? Okay.
No, finals is playoffs. Grand final is a championship.
I said grand final.
You think they're going to the championship game?
Listen, they might. This is a new squad. I like them so far.
I think they're going to be back. I think this is the first year of many dominant years. I don't know if they'll be as dominant this year as they will in future years, but this is definitely a turning point for them this season.
I mean, if they play that first quarter for like the rest of the year, if they just play just like they did in the first quarter, I mean, they're the best team out there.
That's obvious. Like,
I'm just saying, I'm just putting them out there, you know.
If you score like 50 a half, should be good. All right, I'll talk a little bit about this game and then I'll let you speak because this is your team. St. Kilda beating Richmond 117-84. Max King had a big performance, 4 goals, 3 behinds, 13 disposals, 11 kicks, and 7 marks. This is a big result for St. Kilda. Move to 2-1 on the year. Joe, as a St. Kilda Saints fan, what is your thoughts on this match?
This team's gonna give me a heart attack, man. I was ever seen a game. I feel like they're coming from behind. Came back from 25. Somehow they won by 33. Last week's hero, Max King, like you already mentioned. I mean, he's the hero of this match again. Four fourth quarter goals, his 6 marks. Brad Crouch, he was fundamental in this game to keep it close in the first half, especially with Richmond scoring twice in the first 30 seconds.
Oh, that was insane.
He had 29 disposals, 11 clearances, 9 tackles, and 1 goal. If St. Kilda plays a whole game like they did when they're behind, like they do in the fourth quarter, no doubt they'll be in the top 8.
Wow.
I mean, I think they're better than the next team we're going to discuss in the next game.
You're high. All right, so next, West Coast, yes. Here we go. Western Derby in Western Australia in Perth. West Coast 47. The Fremantle Dockers 102. I'll let you speak on this before I go.
I don't have much to say. Last week in the pick'em, even I picked Fremantle. West Coast is such a bad team, and they have injuries. Multiple players out on COVID, so a lot of their stars were going to be missing. I think this was a free win for Fremantle. So talk all you want. I'm not taking much out of this for Fremantle.
Fremantle absolutely dominated game. First half, it ended 43-8 Fremantle. The only thing I have with concern is the first 30 seconds of the second half. West Coast scored twice, but that doesn't matter. Fremantle was all over them. It was all Freo from start to finish. Kicking inaccuracies is still a little worrisome. 15 goals, 12 behinds. I think we can work that out. Nothing a little bit of kicking practice and kicking accuracy practice can't fix. Our coach Longmire was out. If I said your name wrong, my bad. But we dominated them in preseason. We won by 91 in preseason when they had a full healthy team. This was before all their COVID problems and their injuries. We came out, we beat them by 55 in an actual game. Western Australia is purple, okay? Is purple. Andrew Brayshaw with another big performance, 26 disposals, 512 meters gained. Neil Erasmus made his debut, and another young gun, Nathan O'Driscoll, impressed and put on an absolute clinic. Just all around a great performance heading into next week against Greater Western Sydney. I think Fremantle is on the rise. They took a tough one, and even our coach was blasting our own team for losing to St. Kilda, because, St. Kilda, that is just a bad
superior
team right there. St. Kilda is just a bad team. All right, speaking about the Freo coach, Longmire, he's out for another week with COVID. It's not team-related. They played pretty good, but that's against West Coast, and we all know West Coast, not good. How do you think this is going to affect Freo?
The coach being out?
Yeah.
How long is he out for? Do you know?
Another week at least.
And they play the GWS?
Yep.
Was he out this match or no?
Yes.
It could be a big factor in this next game. The Giants, they looked pretty good last week against the Suns. So, I think this could be a big role, because I don't think with him missing that game against West Coast, I don't think that really matters. But having a coach against a decent squad is very important, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I think it'll definitely maybe it'll turn the tide.
I think it's going to be a little bit of factor, but at the end of the day, the coach doesn't play.
Exactly.
So I think in the meetings, he'll be on Zoom or whatever program they use to talk. And I think he'll get his messages across. But at the end of the day, it's the players who are kicking. It's the players who are tackling. It's the players who are jumping off people's backs. So it's going to come down to the players. And Walters had a great game. last week. Our stars are starting to shine, so I think it won't be as big of a factor. But early season injuries are starting to hit teams more than others. Look at the Giants. Phil Davis is out. Davies is out. Port Adelaide, major injuries. They have tons of injuries. Hawthorne has some injuries. St. Kilda has some injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Port is being absolutely dominated. I think I already said that, but
Yeah.
can't understate it. Can't understate that. But who do you think is lucking out right now with lack of injuries?
I think I hate to say this because St. Kilda just played them, but I think Richmond a little bit.
Yeah.
They've had a decent start to the season. In his last game, D Grimes, he got injured with his hamstring. Who knows how long he'll be out. I think once a couple of guys come back for them, they'll be even a little bit better. But if I had to choose what team's looking out, I'd say Richmond.
Yeah, Richmond. I think Brisbane. Let's be
Brisbane.
honest. Brisbane is one of the healthier teams in the league, which is going to be key because Geelong has a few injuries, not as much as teams like Port and West Coast. But I think at the end of the day, Brisbane is looking pretty healthy right now. If they can keep this thing rolling.
I don't think there's much to say about Brisbane, especially with like the teams they face. So it's hard to get a true look of like the actual.
Yeah, you
squad.
can't really measure them against the favorites.
Yeah.
All right, so now we go on to player of. Wait, no, hold up.
Yeah, player of the
Got
week.
one question first.
Oh.
Which 0-3 team has the best shot to make the finals?
Oh, I already told this or stated this. But I might change it now. Like I think Port Adelaide. I think their injuries are just too much for them right now. I think it'll eventually take them out of that finals race. So I think they're just going to be losing too many games. So I'm going to go Essendon, I think. They played a very strong game against Melbourne. They have some, like I already said, promising players to lean back on. Andrew McGrath, just to name a few, or one. But Essendon the last couple of weeks, they've played some strong matches against some really good teams. So once they start getting a little bit of an easier schedule, I'm going to say Essendon has the best chance.
Yeah, I think the Bombers have been looking very good. Port didn't look good the first 2 weeks. This last week they did, but they completely collapsed. Mental lapses across the pitch. So I'm with you. I'm up in there between Port and Essendon because
it's between those two. Yeah.
Port has all those injuries problems. Once they come back, how fast can they get back into form and start contending like a team that we all know they can be? So yeah, I agree with you. Essendon's probably got the best chance.
Yeah.
All right, now we're moving on to player of the week. All right, who's your player of the week?
Well, we were just talking about Brisbane. Or Brisbane. Jesus,
Brisbane.
It just doesn't sound right. Brisbane. I like Brisbane better.
Brisbane.
I have Brisbane's. I
McCarthy.
have Lincoln McCarthy. Yeah. He kicked his career best 5 goals, 1 behind, along with 15 disposal, 8 marks. He's taken a drastic turnaround in his career. He's 28, I believe. He started out with Geelong, where the story behind his career was his injuries. It was injury ravaged. He's come over to Queensland in 2019, and he's kind of been an anchor for them now.
Yeah. All right. I'm up in air with mine. I'm debating between two. I'm debating between Jordan Dawson and Tim Tarrant. Jordan Dawson,
just because of that kick.
Not Jordan Dawson, Angus Brayshaw instead of Jordan Dawson. Oh, Angus Brayshaw did have 20 marks, but Tim Tarrant, I think he was the most influential player of any singular match on the field, not in terms of goals and behinds, but 36 disposals, 655 meters gains, 8 tackles, 15 handballs, 21 kicks. I'm going with Tim Tarrant. Angus Brayshaw gets a shout out. All right. What's your goal of the week?
My goal of the week could turn out to be goal of the year, in my opinion.
Oh,
Ed Langdon of Melbourne. The pressure that was around him, the angle the goal is out, he's basically falling backwards. If he was to take that shot another 100 times, I don't think he makes it. It sent the crowd into the frenzy and really solidified the game against the Bombers. So I've Ed Langdon.
that was a good goal. This goal, I'm going to pick more of a team goal. Really well built up play, passing along the sideline, quick passing, quick movement. Tom J. Lynch from Richmond against St. Kilda. I mean, they completely worked the ball from end to end in a matter of like 10, 15 seconds. He was just there to finish off a goal. It was beautiful. Just quick passing, back forth, little triangle passing. It was stuff of magic, really.
Okay.
Maybe next week we'll start doing young player of the week if you want to do that.
Maybe. Also, if you want to see those kicks, go to our TikTok after the Siren Pod. We're going to have those schools there.
We might put them on our Instagram too. We got to cut it so we're talking about it and then it goes to the goal.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
That's what I do.
Ooh. All right. So week 4 pick 'em. I had
Everyone's favorite part.
last week. I had a rough week last week, man.
That's to take it lightly.
All right. What's our records right now?
This man, Albert, was attacking me last week, saying that my picks was the reason why I was losing against him. I am now 12-6. Albert 10-8. Pick 'em king right here.
In 2 weeks. 2 weeks we've done this. Just wait till the end of the season. Just wait.
Oh, okay. A little bit early for that. Okay.
All right. I'll read you the name you pick first because
Yep,
you're a leader. Port
Right.
Adelaide and Melbourne.
Until someone beats Melbourne, I'm sticking with Melbourne.
I'm taking Melbourne as well. All right. First real test for Brisbane. Geelong Cats or Brisbane?
This is Brisbane's first real opponent, in my opinion. I don't think they're ready for it. Give me a very strong Geelong team.
Give me the upset. Give me Brisbane. I think the amount of confidence they're going into this game, I think that will carry them through. All right, next game we have North Melbourne and Sydney Swans. Sydney Swans at home. North Melbourne is heavily underdogs. Like I'm pretty sure on their website you can bet $8 for them to win. Like if you bet $1, I think you'll win $8.
Oh wow.
I don't know how their betting works.
I has to be Sydney at home. North Melbourne just looks god awful. And Sydney, no, they did a good job this week. I think accuracies will improve against this squad, so I'm taking Sydney.
I'm taking Sydney as well. Collingwood or West Coast Eagles?
West Coast Eagles, technically the worst team in this league right now. Collingwood very strong. Give me Collingwood.
Collingwood as well. Richmond or Western Bulldogs?
I'm not sure if this is an upset or not. I feel like Western is a very good team. The inaccuracies really scared me. I'm taking Richmond at home.
I agree. The inaccuracies of Western's not looking good. Richmond's been very good against Western Bulldogs, especially last year.
You really like these past matchups, don't you? On how a team performs.
Yeah. It's how they match up based off tactics and stuff too. All right, Fremantle versus Greater Western Sydney Giants.
Fremantle without their coach. Give me a great Western Sydney.
Give me my Dockers. All right. The Bombers versus Adelaide Crows.
The Bombers have that chip on the shoulder. Get their first win. They're at home. Give me Essendon against Adelaide.
I want Essendon too. Adelaide Crows, other than their comeback win against Port, they have not looked as strong as Essendon, even though Essendon's 0-3. So I'm taking Essendon. Hawthorn or St. Kilda?
I Jeez. This is the biggest upset coming around in this round. Hawthorne, I think it's time for them to finally choke up a little bit. The youngsters, they're facing a little bit some veterans. Max King for St. Kilda. Give me St. Kilda to take the victory.
I want St. Kilda too. St. Kilda has dominated Hawthorne in the past. I think St. Kilda back-to-back wins. I think they keep the show rolling. All right, last game of the week. Gold Coast Suns versus Carlton.
Carlton's looked like a real team this year. Give me Carlton.
I'm taking Carlton as well.
Man, so not many
I
differences
think-
between
I
me
think
and you. Just the Fremantle and
Geelong
St.
versus
Kilda
Brisbane
game.
and Fremantle versus Giants.
Wait, who'd you pick in the St. Kilda game? I didn't hear you.
St. Kilda? I took St. Kilda.
My God, you kind of lagged up there for me. My God, thank you for that.
I don't think they're a good
Why?
team. I think they're going to win, though. So
They're not a
All
good
right.
team, but they're going to be a good Hawthorne team. Got it.
Hawthorne ain't that great.
Okay.
They're young. They're young. All right. That pretty much wraps it up for this week. Any final
We have,
words
we have opening day coming up
for
in
baseball? Yeah.
2 days. So
Yeah.
Friday we'll kind of have a breakdown of what happened. So
Yeah.
look
Thursday
forward to
or
that.
Friday. Figure it out. All right. That does it. See you, everybody.